Today I'm going to go ahead and show you how to fill out the CSU application. You're going to want to go to the website csumentor.edu, and once you're there it will look like this. A couple of things for you to be aware of. You can research campuses. Where you're going to spend the majority of your time is apply online. Eventually down the road I'll mention the ACT Scores Manager that can also be found on this Apply Online page. And we will spend the majority of our time today looking in the undergraduate admissions application. So to go ahead and apply, you want to make sure that you click on the right season. You guys are applying for fall of 2014. You'll need to create an account the first time you log in, but once you do that, you can go ahead and just log in with your account information. And the CSU application's a little bit different. Basically, all of the campuses are listed in this section, and you click on one that you want to apply to. You press Start New Application, and it will go ahead and open up. So for example, if I wanted to go ahead and apply to Channel Islands, I would just click on this, say Start New Application. I'll see this screen. You guys absolutely want to read this information. It's critical to make sure that you complete everything properly for their campus. And then you can go ahead and say Begin Undergraduate Application for CSU Channel Islands. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys an application I already started though, so that way you can see some of the information filled in. Once you have started it, you can save it as many times as you need, and then it'll show up in this applications you've started but not submitted. Once you've submitted them, they'll show up in this bottom section. The great news is once you fill out one application all the way through, each time you click on a new application and say Start New Application, the majority of the information after page 1 will pre-populate. So that's the good news. So going into the application itself, the first thing you'll see is an enrollment information. Make sure you pick the correct major, pick your intended major, or sorry, the correct term, pick your intended major. For some schools that may have an undeclared choice, some schools will not. As well, sometimes in this area you will also see something about if you're interested in a credential. That's usually asking about a teacher credential program. Just click yes or no whether that's applicable to you. It will ask you what your degree objective is. The majority of you will pick BA or BS. Other bachelors might be something like a BFA, a Bachelor's of Fine Arts. When you get to entry status, you guys are going to pick one of two things. You're either a graduating high school senior with no college credit, or you're a graduating high school senior with college credit. There's two ways that you would qualify for this graduating high school senior with college credit. One of them is by having taken a community college class or even a class at another college. Some of you guys have credits at UC San Marcos or Miracosta, for example. The other way that you would qualify for this section is by having taken an AP test and scoring 3 or higher on one of those tests. You at that point can then go ahead and say that you're a graduating high school senior with college credit. So there's two different ways to qualify for that. Oops, make sure you select the right one because it will impact the rest of the application based off of what you select here. You'll say whether you're applying for early decision or not. Most of the CSUs do not have an early decision. I'm looking at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. They do have an early decision. It'll ask if I've ever applied, and then it'll ask if you have an authorization number. This is new, it's not very common, so if you don't have one, don't worry. If you do have one, fill it in there. The rest of this information, the next several slides or next several pages, are pretty straightforward, just asking for contact information, that type of stuff. What you're noticing is that a red box has popped up when I've tried to move to the next page. Anytime you see a red box here, you want to read through it. It means that there's an error. It may mean that you just need to come back to this page later on when you're ready to finish filling it out, or it may mean that you've read through it and you say, you know what, I know my address is correct because I verified it. And so then you can move forward. It'll ask for more personal contact information, family information. Remember, once again, family income and family size qualifies you potentially for the EOP program or for a fee waiver, so make sure you enter this information correctly. It'll ask about residency status, fill that information in. Demographic information, just fill it in to the best of your ability. And now it'll start asking about your high school information. You can add as many schools as you need. So to add a school, you just type in the name of it. I already put SDA, but maybe I also attended La Costa Canyon. I can search for the school, click on it, and press next. At that point, it's going to take me over to a screen that looks like this. I'm going to say, even though what we call it STA, a quarter schedule, we're still only getting 2 grades per course. So I'm going to enter semester. For the UCs, it was a little different, and people who were in the cohort, you selected both semester and quarter. Everyone on this application is going to go ahead and just select semester. Cohort people, I'll explain to you in just a little bit how to resolve that issue for you. Dates of attendance, go ahead and put for as long as you've been at this school. You will include your graduation date, and that's that. Test information, they give you 2 slots for the SAT, 2 for the ACT. They don't ask about AP tests, they don't ask about subject tests. This is it. You can enter a test that's already been taken with your scores. You could also let them know about a future test date. So if you'll submit this before you've gotten scores back for a test, it doesn't hurt to let them know that there's another set of scores coming, so they make sure that they look for those. Remember, with all of your colleges, the CSUs included, you need to send an SAT and or ACT score report from College Board or from act.org. For College Board, for sending your SAT score report, if you need this sent to multiple schools, you're going to want to send it to CSU Mentor. Okay, and that code on collegeboard.com is 3594. So the code you're looking for, if you're looking to send your SAT score report through to multiple CSUs through College Board, is CSU Mentor, and it's 3594. The ACT, you're going to send it to one campus, and then under ACT Manager, which I showed you back at the beginning of this screen, or back at the beginning of this video, under the ACT Manager, once that school has received it, you will be able to send to release, what they call release that score to all of the other schools as well. If you're only applying to one CSU, you can absolutely just send your score reports directly to those schools. We're not international students, so we don't need to worry about any of this testing information. It's going to ask, because I said I was a graduating senior with college credit, I need to do one of 2 things or potentially both. If I've taken classes at a college, I'm going to add that college. For example, I added MiraCosta and said that I had taken 3 units and my GPA was the following. The other option you have is that you've taken AP test and scored 3 or higher, in which case you're just simply going to say that you have earned or will earn college credit through a program listed below, which is the AP test. Some students will have both options, and that's fine too. EOP, sorry, I'm not to EOP yet. Sorry, I jumped ahead. High school preparation. This is where you're going to enter your A to G coursework for grades 9 through 12. On the CSU application, you enter all of the work by section. So the first section's Area A, Social Science. I've added in a couple of classes I've taken, World History, U.S. History, Government. I'm also going to go ahead and add in, let's say I took AP Euro this year, okay, and you can add all of these at one time, so you could say what you took freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year, whatever the case may be. Okay, I'm going to say that I'm taking AP European History this term. Okay, also if you took it as a college course, you could list it there. I'm going to select the course, and then I'm going to need to tell them some information. For example, I took it in 12th grade. I'm getting 2 grades. I'm taking it senior year though. And let's say if I'm taking it in the fall, I'm going to say that it's in progress and in progress. This will be the first grade I get. This will be the second grade I get. Or if I was taking it in the spring at SDA, I would list that it was planned, and that's because of our 4x4 schedule. As well, down in this section for each of your courses, if it's an AP class or if it's honors pre-calculus, you will get a GPA boost, and that's specific to our school here at SDA. Okay, so AP classes will give you a GPA boost, as will honors pre-calculus. Okay, so I would select AP, and I'm going to get AP credit in both the fall and the spring terms, because this is the first grade I'm getting. This is the second grade I'm getting. Okay, I can go ahead and save my information at that point. It's now going to be added to my list. Okay, but let's take a look at something like AP Government. This is only a 1/4 course for SDA. I'm still going to say that it's semester because if it was a full term course, I would get 2 grades. I'm taking it, let's say, in 4th quarter. I'm going to say that there's no credit for the fall because it's not there. I'm only taking it in the spring, which is technically 4th quarter. I'm still going to get AP credit, and I'm going to say that I'm getting it for the spring when I'm taking the class. If, however, I was taking it maybe 3rd quarter, I would write planned, no credit, AP, and the fall. If you have questions about that, don't hesitate to get in touch with me. All right, here's where a few other things can get tricky. Okay, let's say in sophomore year or freshman year, I took English 9 honors. I'm going to want to add that. So I'm going to select the course. I'm going to say it's semester. I got an A and I got an A minus. I'm not going to say honors because once again I'm not getting a GPA boost here. This GPA boost for SDA is only for AP classes and honors pre-calculus. Cohort students, okay, I promised that we could enter all 4 of your grades. For the cohort, instead of selecting semester, I'm going to say it was a quarter and I got 4 grades for a full academic year. I'm going to enter my 1st grade, my 2nd grade, my 3rd grade, my 4th grade. For AP credits, I'm going to say AP, and I'm just going to say for both fall and spring terms. Okay, it's not going to let me pick for all 4, but it's okay because I should still only be getting 2 semester credits for this class. So just enter it this way. If you have questions as to why, come see me personally. So I'm going to do this for all of my classes. It's going to let me know that I have not fully entered everything correctly, and I know that because I haven't added all of my classes. I need more English, I need more math. As well, recognize that in both math and language other than English, you can add classes as high as Algebra 1 from middle school, or you can add from as early as world other than a language other than English in 7th or 8th grade as well. Okay, I'm going to continue through. I'm just going to continue to add my classes. You guys are going to have to calculate your CSU GPA. I have a separate video on how to calculate it. Please watch that video. Please read through these directions. This is not an equivalent GPA to anything that's on your transcript here at SDA. So you're absolutely either going to want to watch my video or you're going to want to read through the directions thoroughly. Additional non-A to G courses, you can list up to 3 that didn't make your A to G course list. And remember, if you can't remember what is an A to G course, okay, it's on the SDA transcript, any of the ones that have the lowercase p next to them. Finally, it'll ask about Educational Opportunity Program. Remember, this is for disadvantaged students. So that might be minority, that might be first-generation college student, or that might be due to socioeconomic status. If you want additional information, back on the home page of csumentor.edu, you can find out additional information about EOP. We finally get to application fee waiver. If you think you may qualify, you want to make sure that back in this personal information section that your family and family size and income information was entered accurately. They'll let you know if you think that you qualify for a fee waiver. Okay, it will let you know. I do want to qualify. If you meet it, it waives the $55 fee. Okay, you can tempt only once, so you want to make sure, like I said, that you answer all of this information accurately. It's telling me that I need to fill out this information, so for the time being I'm just going to say no, just so that way it'll let us continue on. For a couple of the CSUs, you're going to see what's called a supplemental activities. This is the only time you will be asked on a CSU application about extracurricular work experience, community service, anything along those lines. It's just 4 brief questions. That's it. Okay, there's also no essays on the CSU application. You do not need to send a transcript to the CSUs. If you attend the CSU and at that point, then you'll send them your transcript. Please, before you submit your application, read through this review page carefully. It's really important that all of your information is accurate, that you've entered all of your A to G courses, you've entered your grades correctly. If you have questions, come see me.